What is going on, spectators? Welcome back to another episode. Merry Christmas, everybody. And we are riding into the new year. 2023 is around the corner, and we are getting really excited for the end of sports, getting ready. We had NBA football and Christmas happening yesterday, which means that I don't know if I said NBA, but NBA happened yesterday. That's when the league really gets important and gets serious. So I'm excited to watch NBA for the rest of the season. The playoffs are on the way. College football playoff is happening this week. Like, we got a lot to talk about. We're not even going to preview the college football playoff games because, truthfully, I haven't prepared for them. But I'm excited to watch them and all the actual important bowl games that are coming up. And we'll definitely talk about those because those are awesome. But, Brooklyn, what's going on? I hope you had a good Christmas. Welcome in, brother.
I did, man. Had a dope day. Chilled with the fam. Really enjoyed yesterday. It was a lot of fun. And I hope everybody else had a great Christmas. Hope you were on Santa's nice list. I know y'all been naughty, so
Don't lie.
Y'all probably got cold, and that's okay. That's okay. Be grateful.
I did see a really good picture. I don't remember who sent it to us, but it was like, oh man, I got Cole for Christmas. And it was a stocking with like a signed Garrett Cole card in their stocking. And I was like, I like it. I like it. They got Cole for Christmas. I like it.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a good bid. So I hope you guys got some great stuff. And if you did and you want to share it, you're more than welcome to post it on Twitter, tag us, do all the good stuff. You can send it in our Discord over at the Spectators or my Discord if you're in that over on my Twitch channel. Either of those, we would love to see all those gifts and everything of that nature. But like I said, the NFL playoffs are right around the corner. We have 2 weeks left, right? Next week is going to be, is it week? I get confused on the weeks now because they added this week. I think it's week 17, and then we got week 18, right?
It's disgusting. I hate it.
Yeah, week 18 is weird. Week 17 of week 18. Fantasy should be coming to an end either this week or next week, most likely next week. I know a lot of leagues end the week before the end of the season. So if you're in, yeah, if you're still in, good luck. I know I am on the edge of my seat. I'm up like 15 going into tonight's game with the Chargers. So I'm hoping to hang on to get into my final, but we'll kind of see how that goes. But we don't care about your fantasy team at the moment. You know, you're hanging on. How's that looking?
I'm up 15 on Gerard, and I got Keenan Allen tonight, and he got Austin Eckler.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it a beam with you. I need Keenan to suck, but suck just enough for you to still win, but like suck for me to, give him like 5. I mean 5 points. That'll help you out, probably. It's been a bad fantasy week too. Defenses were really, really strong this week. Weather was like a really big factor, as it tends to be towards the end of the year, right? I mean, that Thursday night game with the Jets and Jaguars, I had like 4 Jaguars playing because of just like the way that everything went. So I had a lot of Jaguars players playing, and that offensive game was disgusting. And if we're talking about playoffs, let's talk about the Jags real quick since we're on that. The number 4 seed Jacksonville Jaguars with the best quarterback in the league since Thanksgiving by QBR, by yards, and by, I think it's like touchdowns thrown. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags are full steam ahead. They beat Tennessee, or no, they beat the Jags this week. Tennessee lost, which puts them in the 1 seed in the AFC South. Dude.
It's crazy, man.
Crazy.
The fact that we're talking about division winners potentially. Jacksonville Jaguars?
Nah.
Man.
I mean, coming into the year,
you gotta love it. You gotta love it, though.
You gotta love it. Coming into the year, you'd have never thought, not because like we knew Trevor Lawrence was gonna be better than he was last year. I mean, if you watched like any 5-minute clip of a Jaguar game last year, you could have been like, wait, yeah, this guy is still good, just like Urban Meyer's his head coach. Like, you would have seen it, right? And
there was no question about that.
It's easy to look at stats and be like, oh, this guy's a bust. And there was millions of people on Twitter talking about that. And if you did it, I saw you. You little rats. I saw you. Trevor Lawrence is still really good. Obviously, he's really good. He's been a top 10 quarterback this year. That seems light, and we could go higher, but we're not going to push the button too hard right now. But he's been really good. The Jaguars got lucky that the Colts really had a quarterback issue. They got lucky that Tennessee has a quarterback issue. And Tannehill's staying healthy, and Malik Willis is horrible. And they fell apart in the second half of the year. But it's exciting to see Jacksonville kind of getting back where they are. And this is nowhere near where this team is going to end up when they kind of figure it out and get a couple more pieces. But they're getting it done. Their defense plays well enough a lot of times. They're able to score in bunches. They have a lot of explosive weapons like Zay Jones and Christian Kirk and Travis Etienne. Like, they got some guys over there. They got Evan Ingram over there, too, at tight end. So they have guys at positions offensively. They have things, and give Trevor another year. And if he looks like this since Christmas to now, or Thanksgiving to now for a full season, they're going to have more than 7 wins next year, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, and I'm loving that we can see the turn of the tide for the Jaguars too, because nobody got beef with the Jaguars. They're always just around.
Yeah.
They're always just around. So
And they're usually bad.
yeah, so the fact that we got them on the come up now, and they're potentially gonna again win their division.
Yeah.
Not just make the playoffs. So love to see that for
Well,
what
are their next 2 teams looking like? We're going to be doing this a lot where we look at the teams, like a couple teams' last 2 games of the season. Because if they win out, they're in. If they win their next 2 games, they win their division. It's just that simple, right?
So they got the Texans next week.
In theory, that should be good, but the Texans have had their number. I think the Texans have beaten them the last 6 times. So,
and the Texans like to show up randomly this year when they shouldn't.
They've looked kind of decent at times, but like just don't win games. Like, they've looked competitive-ish, and then they're like, all right, let's lose. And it's like, you guys are smart. I like you.
and what's really going to be cool, they should go ahead and beat the Texans next week easily. I don't know if they win the division off of that, but come week 18, they play the Tennessee Titans. And what better way to win your division
Beat them
than to take down the kings of your division for the last couple of years?
And if they do that, they'll be above 500. So they'll end with 9 wins. So they'll be 9-8, and that'll be like, hey, not only did they just make the playoffs, but they were a 9-win team. They probably deserved it. Like, that feels good.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if they win 9 games, they're like maybe a wild card if they wouldn't have won the division anyway. So it's like good. That works out, right?
Yeah.
So shout out to them. We'll stay in the AFC for a second, and we do have like a 3-car bundle kind of at the top. Right now, Buffalo has been squeaking out some wins lately, and they do have the tiebreaker over Kansas City in terms of the 1 overall seed. Buffalo holds it at the moment. They did beat Kansas City earlier this year. That's where the tiebreaker comes into play. They're both 12-3. I don't think anybody expected the Chiefs to be 12-3 this year coming into the season. But guess what? They have the best quarterback in the planet, maybe the best we've ever seen, and he just continues to impress us every single year, week, month, playoffs, all of that. Like, Mahomes is something special. And that's an important thing that they're both 12-3, because the Bills have a much more difficult schedule for the last 2 games than the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs get Denver next week. Let's ride. It's not been great in Kansas City. And then to end the season.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, right. That's going to be a bloodbath. And then to end the season, I'm trying to find it real quick. They have Vegas at Vegas. So that's not like Vegas has played much better football the second half of the season, but Derek Carr stinks, and I have no faith in them. So I fully expect the Chiefs to go 2-0. Now the Bills got a hold packed on that, and they have a tough task because next week on Monday Night Football, they get the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. They haven't played a tough team in a couple of weeks now, the Bills. They had a really tough first half of the season. You know, they played the Ravens, they played the Chiefs, and then at the end of that, they played the Vikings. They haven't played a tough team in a while. And now they get Cincinnati in Cincinnati. They've been playing fantastic football. Joe Burrow's looked real good. And that defense has super quietly been fantastic. Also, I do want to shout out Joe Burrow for beating the just throw it up to Jamar Chase and pray allegations. Because Jamar was hurt for a good chunk of this year. And when he was hurt, like, their offense was like almost better than it was with him. T. Higgins was balling and Tyler Boyd was balling. And now they got Jamar back, and their offense is still doing great. And I know they have had some running back injuries. And is Joe Mixon good? Probably not. And Samaje Perine's been playing, and he's not really that good either. The O-line's still not the best, but they've been made better. They're sitting there at the top. They won their division already. They clinched. And things are looking good for the Bengals, where just 2 years ago they were not looking too great. Then they go to the Super Bowl, and now here they are just looking like one of the scarier teams going into the playoffs.
Did they win the division yet?
I'm pretty sure they did, because they're 2 games above the Ravens, and I think they won their division off of like in division record. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how it winds up working out.
Yeah,
no, it's not, because
I'm not seeing that they,
because they only have. Are the Ravens playing tonight? Is that tonight's game? Is that why this is? Is that tonight's game?
Let me try to find that real quick.
Who are the Chargers playing?
We got Chargers Colts tonight.
It's kind of gross. That's a big game too.
The Ravens beat the Falcons yesterday.
Okay, so yeah, they're 1 game back. They're not 2 games back.
Yeah.
Okay, so they didn't clinch. So that's so next week's actually really,
regardless.
Yeah, no, I mean next week's a really big game for Cincinnati then, because if they win, they clinch.
Yeah.
That's a big game.
Yeah.
You want to win that division.
And prime time too. You got Burrow and Josh Allen.
And it's like a legitimacy check too, because like the Bengals have kind of had the Chiefs' number when Joe has been there. They've beaten them 3 times already, which is kind of crazy. So it's like, yeah, you guys can beat the Chiefs, but can you beat this guy? It's like there's another big dog out there. Can you beat him? And so
yeah,
that'll be a really good test.
And it's so crazy with like Mahomes and Allen, because they're the 2 top dogs in the AFC.
Yeah.
But it just feels like Mahomes has been there for like 10 years. And that Josh is like this new guy just coming up.
They've been in the league the same amount of time.
And it's crazy, bro. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah. I mean, they've both been, again, Mahomes has been good since he became a starter. So shout out. And Josh had the development. So that's why he feels younger, because it was like a work in progress.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to say something pretty cool, too. Yeah, 2 great
What's
stories, right? You look at the AFC playoffs, right? And tell me, stop me when I say a quarterback who's not top 10 in the NFL. The 1 seed Bills, Josh Allen. 2 seed Chiefs with Mahomes. 3 seed is Joe Burrow. 4 seed Trevor Lawrence. 5 seed Lamar Jackson. 6 seed Justin Herbert. I'm not going to say the Dolphins, because Tua is not a top 10 quarterback.
And I'm only going to stop you on Lamar Jackson, because he's not going to be there, most likely.
Is he not going to be there for the playoffs?
I don't know.
He's got to be.
There's no way. I haven't heard anything, so I'm not going to say that he is.
Yeah.
We can fact check that right now, but I don't know.
Yeah, but just in general, like the top 6 seeds in the AFC are all there with fantastic quarterbacks, and that's never really the case in the NFC, because the NFC is always weird. It is like coach oriented, and it just kind of works that way.
No, the AFC is amazing, bro. Like, and it's funny how even if you go ahead throw Tua with the Dolphins, the fall off after that,
which we're not.
But the fall off after that
from Tua to Mac Jones
teams, you get Mac Jones,
Mike
Zach
White.
Wilson,
Mike White. He's clear to play.
Mike White, freaking Ryan Tannehill,
Mitch Trubisky,
Trubisky,
Derek Carr.
Like, oh my god, the fall off is wild.
Yeah,
but I mean the top.
But those top 6 though. Yeah, they do go hard.
Insane.
They do go hard, and you know it's crazy. Like half those quarterbacks we just said are 1 game back of the Dolphins. The Dolphins have been playing horrible football. They're still in the playoff spot right now, but they lose a really bad game to the Packers on, was it Saturday? No, it was yesterday. They did it on Christmas. To 3 straight possessions where they were tied and then down 3 and then down 6 with an interception. They lose the game because of that. I don't know, man. I've never been the biggest Tua guy. I think he's a great dude. I love that he's a lefty quarterback. I like him a lot. He's a great story for coming back from all the injuries and all that. I never thought he was like an elite type of guy. And the numbers he's had this year, They remind me of some other quarterbacks. You want me to list them real quick? They remind me of, all right. In 2018, pretty sure it was 2018. 2018, the Rams go to the Super Bowl behind Jared Goff. He played well that year. He played really well that year. It's Jared Goff. He's played well again this year. He's not a top 15 quarterback, right?
Yeah.
2020, the San Francisco 49ers go to the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is not a top 15 quarterback. He had a great year that year. Excellent game manager. He is not a top 15 quarterback. Tua has had a great year for spurts of the season. He's also had bad parts. He's been concussed. He's been battered around. He's had a really wild year. He is not. He's not anything more than like a game manager with like 2 elite weapons. That's just how I feel.
I mean, hey, if you got a solid team around you, that's all you got to be.
Again, look at those guys I named. They both went to Super Bowls. Neither of them won it, but like.
And that's where having that guy that's going to cross that line is going to help you.
Yeah,
but
truly.
To get there, I mean, if you're happy with that, that's all you need.
Yeah.
But also the fact that we're coming into these last 2 weeks, and there's a chance for the Dolphins to not make the playoffs.
Pretty bad.
And the fact that like these next 2 weeks are huge for the rest of the AFC East, because we can end up with any of the 3 with the Dolphins, Patriots, and Jets make it in. And it's insane. Yeah. So,
well, and the Dolphins, here's the bad part. They've lost 4 in a row. They lost to the 49ers, the Chargers, the Bills, and the Packers. All most likely playoff teams. But if you can't beat the Packers at home, that's good. The Packers are going to be the worst team to make the playoffs this year, if they make it. They're just going to be the worst team to make the playoffs. Doesn't mean they're not going to win a playoff game, because they might. They have Aaron Rodgers. I don't doubt that. But they're going to be the worst team, top to bottom, to make a playoff game this season, if they make it. And they couldn't beat them at home. So you're telling me the Dolphins can't beat any teams that are playoff eligible? Let's look at their wins real quick. They beat the Ravens and they beat the Bills to start the season. After that, they've lost to the Bengals, playoff team. Vikings, playoff team. 49ers, Chargers, Bills, Packers. 6 playoff teams they lost to after the first 3 weeks of the year. This isn't a Dolphins hate session. It's just like, we heard a lot about Mike McDaniels and how he's such a fantastic coach and he's a quarterback whisperer and this, that, and the other thing. And his offense is so efficient, this, that, and the other thing. They got to start winning games at some point if he's that good of a coach, because that's what good coaches do.
It's been a really, really streaky season for them, and that's not good.
No. 3 in a row, 3 in a row wins, 3 in a row losses, 4 in a row wins, 4 in a row losses. Or 5 in a row wins.
They have 5 in a row. Yeah,
5 in a row. They could very well lose to the Patriots next week.
Don't keep the streak going, because you lose to the Patriots, you're out. Like,
I think they're actually out if they lose to the Patriots, which is crazy.
They got the Jets the week after, so I don't know if it's a weird thing, like if they lose to the Patriots but beat the Jets and
it very well could be, but I think it's pretty simple for the Chargers right now. If the Chargers win tonight, they are in. It's that simple. The Chargers win tonight against not Baltimore. I almost said the Baltimore Colts. What era am I from? What era am I from?
You good, dog?
What era am I from? It's not wrong. If they beat the Colts, they're in, and that's pretty sick. And Justin Herbert, despite having the most injured team in the league, and yes, I'm pushing narratives here, but the most injured team in the league, he doesn't have his best offensive lineman, without his 2 best wide receivers for a majority of the season. His best wide receiver this season with the most amount of yards is Joshua Palmer.
Who?
Joshua Palmer. If they win tonight, they'll have a better record than the Dolphins.
Terrible.
I'm here for slander. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely terrible.
That's all I'm saying. Who else we got? I think we talked about pretty much everyone. Baltimore is going to be really contingent. They already clinched this week because they did win. They clinched. They just really need Lamar back. If they don't have Lamar back, they are a first-round exit. It's an easy game that you actually kind of want in the playoffs if there's no Lamar. Yeah. If there is Lamar, it's a whole different conversation. But
so little update about the fact check on Lamar.
Okay.
He's probably going to practice for week 17.
Good. So that's what I like to hear.
There's a chance.
Okay.
There's a chance.
So he'll be there for the playoffs.
Yeah.
He'll be there for the playoffs. Okay, nice.
And that's good because I
nice.
don't want to go into the playoffs and see freaking the Ravens and
Without Lamar. It's not fun.
yeah,
It's
that's
not
gonna
fun.
be terrible.
It's not.
I don't want that anywhere near my TV.
So real quick before we go to the NFC, let's look at the playoffs. Right, Jacksonville, Baltimore. Who's winning?
Jacksonville, Baltimore. I'm actually gonna go with Jacksonville.
As of this current moment, yeah. I mean, if no Lamar,
even with Lamar hasn't played in a while. It's very likely that they're gonna be rusty.
I don't think Lamar is rusty though. He's not a rusty. Well,
I mean, it's not Lamar himself. It's just the offense in general.
Okay, so you're taking Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jacksonville.
Then we got Bengals, Chargers. If everything stands up, the two young QBs.
Yeah,
the guys that we compare a lot to each other.
Just off of experience, I'm gonna go Bengals.
Okay.
I would love the Chargers to take that, but I'm gonna go Bengals.
I think they're just too injured. They're not gonna be a playoff team. They're not gonna beat the Bengals if they're that injured. And then they got the Chiefs, Miami. I don't think this is a.
Yeah,
I don't think this is one.
Next.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Okay.
Go get Andy Reid a burger.
Dude, that was a funny little gift they did him. They thought they got him some shoes. It was just a nice burger.
Man loves his burgers.
He does love a good burger. All right, switching to the NFC. This conference is a lot more clear cut, but also not at the same time. Like
not at all.
But like not at all because it's still all the same problems that exist in the AFC. We do have 3 division clinchers already, so the division's already locked up. Shout out to the Eagles, Vikings, and 49ers. The Eagles lost this week to the Cowboys, so technically that 1 seed's not locked up yet.
The division's also not locked up for the Eagles.
Oh, yeah, they're 2 games ahead, so that's not locked up. If they won, it would have locked up the division. But no Jalen Hurts. This game was still really close. If there's anything that this game told me, is that Gardner Minshew is good.
Yeah.
It's that Jalen Hurts might be a product of the system, but is also the reason that the system works so well. It's kind of a weird dichotomy, right? You can have a system quarterback that doesn't work as well without that right guy.
Yeah.
Right? And Jalen makes so many more plays just exist because of his feet and because of the threat of his feet. And then he's just a fantastic thrower also. I mean, he doesn't make very many bad throws. Find me like a clip of a montage of like bad Jalen Hurts throws. It'll be like 30 seconds. Like there's not a whole lot of them. There's just not a whole lot of them. He's been really good this year, man. And whenever they get him back, I don't know if it's going to be this week or if they're just going to rest him for the playoffs, which I imagine he'll play one of these because they need to get a win. They need to. If you have a chance to get the 1 seed, you lock that up. You get a bye
so who
and home field throughout.
Who are they playing next week? They're playing the Saints. They're playing the Saints, and then the week after that,
they got the Giants.
So
they have the Saints and the Giants. Here's how the Eagles need to go about this, right? They need to beat the bricks out of the Saints. Do whatever you need to do because you're going to play the Giants and the Giants are going to beat you. That's just how this is going to go. The Giants are going to win that game because the Giants are going to need to win that game. The Eagles are going to win next week. They're going to lock up the 1 seed. They're going to lock up the division with a win. They're going to sit everybody and have 2 bye weeks. You lose to the Giants, who cares? You take your bye. Then you get another bye.
Yeah.
And you vibe. That's how this needs to go. You better come in with the best game plan of the season needs to be against the Saints next week.
Yeah. No doubt.
And then you can vibe. Chill out. You can write a whole new game book in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. 3, yeah. Like 3 weeks realistically. Like, jeez. So that's how they need to go about it. Who else? And then we have Minnesota and San Francisco. That's a battle for the 2 seed, by the way, because if the Vikings lose, and they do play the Packers this week. So if the Vikings lose at all, and San Francisco wins out, San Francisco does have the tiebreaker over them. So San Francisco will get the 2 seed. I don't know how much that really changes anything. Because either you're going to get the 2 seed or the 3 seed. You're going to wind up playing the Giants, Commanders, just like a bunch of teams, right? Seahawks, Detroit, Green Bay. Some of those teams pose more of an issue than others, and they all have kind of flaws at some capacity. So I don't know how much the 2 or the 3 seed matters, but it does matter that if they both play and win their first game and play each other, whoever gets home field advantage to me is going to win that game. If, like, just say the Vikings and 49ers make it, right? So if the Vikings are the 2 seed and they win, I think they win in Minnesota. If the 49ers get home field, I think they beat the hell out of the Vikings in San Francisco. So it's one of those, it's kind of important and you better win these games despite you really kind of want to rest some guys.
Yeah.
Especially San Francisco. They've been so injured this year that, like, you have to look at it like, do we want to rest guys? And they probably will, and they're still just so deep and, like, so much better coached than the Raiders and the Cardinals, which is who they play next. That
you go ahead and rest everybody for the Cardinals game because
they're still gonna beat them. Like, that's the thing. Yeah, you're still gonna
exactly because whatever, we don't care. And then you go into the playoffs and see what happens.
Yeah. Also, the 49ers are just infinitely scary right now. They have a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 game win streak. Their last loss was to the Chiefs.
Brock Purdy looking nice.
Their last loss was to the Chiefs. They got rocked in that game, but that was 2 months ago. Like,
they forgot about that already.
That's long gone. Long gone. So they are looking a little scary with that many wins. Yeah, that's how I feel about both those teams. The Vikings just keep getting one-score wins. And, hey, what did I say about the Dolphins earlier where they keep losing games? But they have this great, quote-unquote, head coach. O'Connell's not looked fantastic coaching some plays sometimes, and he hasn't been able to put his foot on the gas and slaughter a team. But go ahead and check the scores. Who won? Also, a fun little side note, Kirk Cousins has the best QBR, the most amount of yards, the most amount of touchdowns in the fourth quarter of the season. What quarter matters more than any other quarter? Football people will say every quarter matters, but guess when games are won and lost? It's in the fourth quarter. And there has not been a quarterback better than Kirk Cousins. I don't care what slander you want to give on him. I mean, if you're voting for MVP, it's not him. It's the guy I'm wearing right now, right? It's Justin. But, like, you got to give the man some credit, and he's been fantastic in the fourth, and that's why they keep winning these sketchy games. But it's how it goes.
And again, when it comes playoff time, you're gonna run into scrappy games. Things aren't gonna be going your way.
Draw them out games.
You might
every down matters type games. Yep.
Exactly. So what better practice can you have than literally winning 10 games by 1 score? Those are
11.
Playoff game 11 now.
11.
What better practice can you have?
Wow.
Because those are scrappy playoff game and
environments,
just situations,
feelings, moods,
situations. So like that's gonna get you ready. And I mean, you give the Vikings a chance to actually go up against a team, they're chilling.
It's not gonna happen, but like it'll be nice. It's just not gonna happen. I've watched the games. It's not gonna happen. It's just not. But that's how that goes. The Bucks are currently the division winners of the NFC South. This division is horrible. The Panthers actually look like they might win it for a second. That was crazy. But the Bucks pulled out the grossest win on Sunday Night Football I've ever seen. Tom Brady had 2 fantasy points in the fourth quarter. 2. 16-3, they were down. They come back and win.
Count them.
2. Count them. 2 marshmallows. It is horrible. It's disgusting showing of a game. But, I mean, hey, the Bucks got 7 wins. They have a really, really good defense, right? And they have Tom Brady. It's not really somebody you want to see in the playoffs just because of those 2 things.
No.
You got Tom, you got a good defense.
So if they beat the Panthers next week, they win the division, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Then they'll beat a 4 seed. They're not going above that.
No. Which is
I don't know how it works with the Panthers and the Bucks. I don't know if the Panthers win that game. I think I'm almost positive that if the Panthers win out, they win the division. Like, it's just that simple. If they win this game and they win their second game, they win the division. Which is wild. They control their own destiny.
That definitely checks out.
Should they? No, the Panthers should not have 6 wins. They should have 2 wins. They keep winning games. But it does need to be noted that the Bucs have a great run defense. The Panthers run the ball a lot. Doesn't feel like a good matchup for the Panthers. This is like a run-heavy team. Like, they run it down your throat. They got rid of Christian McCaffrey, and they're like, oh, we don't have a brittle piece of glass at running back now? Bet. So run it up your gut now. They do
Tote the rock.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. So I guess shout out to the Panthers for winning, but, like, should you have? I don't know.
But we've talked about it before. This is like the worst place to be as a football team, where you're fighting for a playoff spot, but then you don't make the playoffs. And you could have been really bad, but you decided to be kind of good, and now you're just middle of the pack.
Well, and the worst part, too, is that this draft has 2 really, really good quarterbacks, right? And then the rest of them are kind of projects, and think of them as you will. I don't think very highly of any of the other guys in this draft outside of C.J. Stroud and not Caleb Williams. Wow. Not him. He's going to be next year's draft. Dude from Alabama. Blanking on his name right now. He's going to be a Texan, so who cares? But
Bryce Young.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I can't think of his name. Caleb Williams next year. Bryce Young's going to be a Texan, and then C.J. Stroud's going to go whichever team kind of needs that. Like, you could have got C.J. Stroud, but instead, the Panthers are going to win some games, and then next year they're going to be like, well, Darnold ended the year pretty great, and Wilkes was, like, pretty good at the end of the year, so they're not going to fire their coach. They're going to keep Sam Darnold, and then next year it's going to be this all over again, and they're going to win 6 more games, and it's like, well, we ended the year strong again. It's like, guys, be bad for one season. Go get your quarterback. Your defense is amazing. J.C. Horn's a dog. He's one of the best corners in the league. Don't let him down. Don't let Brian Burns down. They're going to.
They're gonna let down their whole fan base.
They're going to. It's sad. It's sad. Which of these bubble teams, because the Giants and the Commanders still haven't made the playoffs yet, feels like the Giants probably will make the playoffs. Again, they do play the Eagles last week of the year, which is a little scary, but they get the Colts this week. It's pretty simple. You beat the Colts, you make a playoff spot. Pretty easy. Sounds like the Chargers this week. The Colts are just a punching bag right now. Unless they win them both, then they're they're fighting back. They're sparring back. But Giants feel like they'll get in. And then you have the Commanders, the Seahawks, the Lions, and Green Bay, all with 7 wins.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the Commanders do have that tie, which helps them. Right? That actually helps them quite a bit. Because they have 1 less loss. So if they get a win, they're sitting pretty. Which of these teams do you think gets that 7 spot?
I would have loved it to be the Seahawks, but the Seahawks are on a little slide right now, losing 3 in a row. So
yeah,
who really knows what happens with that? I'm not really expecting them to make it in. The Lions have been just weird this year, where sometimes they feel like they're the best team in the league.
Dude, sometimes.
And then other weeks they feel like the Detroit Lions. And it's like, wow, they suck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's probably going to be the Packers just because.
Well, the Packers play the Vikings this week, which, again, that's a pretty big game. And then they got the Lions. So it'll kind of come down to that Packers-Lions. Yep. What I assume is whoever wins that game gets it. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because
I'm not expecting the Packers to beat you guys, but again, like divisional,
who knows?
Late in the year game,
man.
You guys are in. There's no point for you to guys to like really try. So it's very likely that the Packers can win.
Yeah, there's really not. It's super interesting. And Washington has a pretty tough back half of their year. They have the Browns, who they are eliminated. They're kind of fighting for some pride over there in Cleveland. And they're not like
pride.
They're not like, oh, well, they certainly have no morals, but they have a little bit of pride. And then they got the Cowboys. I don't expect Washington to win any of these games. You know why? Carson Wentz. He's starting.
I know. I saw that and I was just
terrible.
Why are you here?
Horrible, bro.
Go home.
Go home, dude. He's a nice guy. He works hard. Don't care. You're in a playoff push. Keep your quarterback, please.
Yeah, don't rock the boat like that.
Yeah. So that's how I feel about this bottom of the division. It'll be the Lions or the Packers. but who knows?
Yeah,
There's a lot of teams.
that's fair.
There's a lot of teams. And then Dallas. We didn't really talk about Dallas. The best, probably not division winner. Again, I do expect Philly to wind up winning this division, but the best non-division winner, 11-4. I'm actually going 11-4 and probably 13-4, and you just don't win your division. That's brutal. That's brutal. That's brutal, man. You go 13-4. You'd be like the 1 or 2 seed the AFC, but it just happens to be that way. So they're going to be really scary. They're going to wind up playing the Bucks in that first round of the playoffs, and that's going to be fun. And while I mentioned that matchup,
wild game.
I fully expect this to be the time that Tom can't get past the Cowboys. They beat him earlier this year. They beat him on the opener last year. This is the time where the Cowboys finally get past the first round of the playoffs, and then it won't be a long existing ride after that. But they beat the Bucks, I think, as the 5 seed in Tampa. I think that happens.
This game like conflicts me so bad because like
It's two great defenses.
I want to say Cowboys. Yeah, I want to say Cowboys just because they're the better team. There's no question about that. They're the better team. But again, you put Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Well,
I don't care how bad they are during the year. Tom Brady's a different species in the playoffs.
Think about how these games have gone with Dallas and the Cowboys the last 2 years. Both games come down to the wire where Tom has the ball at the end of the game, goes down the field, and wins it. How do you think this game's going to end? It's just written in the stars, right? Like, Tom's going to have the ball at the end. He's going to march down the field, and he's going to beat the Cowboys to beat them like 21-20. It'll be something stupid.
And as the season's going, Tom is capitalizing on those late game drives. He wasn't able to get them done early in the season. He had the chances. They weren't happening. Now everything's starting to click. Again, Tom Brady in the playoffs. I don't want to see it.
It's not a fun
And
time.
again, the Cowboys in the playoffs too. You don't want to see that on the bad end of it because they're dog in the playoffs.
It's the double karma, right?
Because of that yin and yang, I'm gonna have to go with the Bucks on that one.
I kind of like that too. I want the Cowboys to break this one and done mold that they have, but that kind of sounds fun. And then we would have San Francisco and the Giants, the football Giants and the baseball Giants playing against each other.
I'm gonna go Niners.
Yeah, I don't think this is
I think
close
that's solid.
Either. Yeah, I don't think it's particularly close.
No, like
you know what the issue is?
It's just a terrible quarterback matchup, and we get a Saquon Christian McCaffrey just dogfight.
Yeah,
I think that'll be kind of fun. And if it comes down to that, I really don't know.
Saquon's been a dog. I don't know. He's been really good.
Yeah, I really don't know. Like if it comes down to that, the Giants could easily win. But I don't think it will, and I'm going to give it to the Niners.
The issue with the Giants are the Giants can't win a shootout. The Niners are going to score 30. Yeah. So, there you go. That's just how...
And exactly that. Yeah. I'm going to give it to the Niners.
Yeah, that's just how that goes. And then we got Minnesota-Washington. This is probably the one matchup that I really want the Vikings to have. I know we played Washington really close earlier in the year. The Vikings have a really weird thing, and it hasn't been a thing this year too much. But if you watch the Vikings at all in the past, whenever they play a backup quarterback, their defense gets befuddled. And that was mostly a Mike Zimmer thing, old head coach. They kind of happened with the Commanders this year. They played Taylor Heineke. It was his first week starting of the season. And he looked really good, especially early in the game. They couldn't really stop him second half, put the clamps on. They didn't score in the second half at all. Vikings come back and win that game. I think without Taylor, and it's Carson Wentz, I don't think this will be as close of a game. And this will be their first good win of the season. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I got Vikings easily.
Yeah. Go.
just, just no, nothing to talk about for the 2 versus 7 games.
Yeah, it sucks that like there's a 7 seed now because like realistically the 6 seed never won to begin with. Like, and that was when the 6 seed was playing the 3. I mean, I guess they still play the 3, but like it was 6 versus 3 and the 6 seed almost never won it. And now we got a 2 versus 7. How much does that really bring in? I don't know, but I like it in terms of like season-long implications. I like it.
Yeah, and it's funny because like the 6 versus 3 matchups for both sides, like we were able to talk about a little bit because like they could go either way. Like I'm not surprised if the Chargers and the Giants end up winning those games.
I'm a little surprised with the Giants. I'm a little surprised with the Giants.
Well, again, like I said, if it comes down to just a running back duel where Purdy and Daniel Jones just suck, like.
Well, you know how the Giants win this game? The Giants blitz more than any other team in the NFL, right? I think it's like 43% of plays they blitz. Crazy. If they hurt Brock Purdy, insta win. They win. They win.
No, it's Bounty. It's Bounty Gate.
It's Bounty Gate. It's Bounty. If Brock Purdy gets hurt, who's gonna play quarterback? Who? It's got to be like
McCaffrey.
Sure, it might be. It's got to be like some random practice squad dude that now is their QB too. I actually really want to know who they're. Let's look it up. Because I don't know who their backup quarterback is right now. I'm super interested. Josh Johnson.
Who? No way.
No.
The Josh Johnson?
The Josh Johnson.
Oh my god. I love that Josh Johnson is just like
he's 36. It's the Josh Johnson.
Joke.
It's the Josh Johnson. Oh my.
Oh man.
I didn't know that. Dude, Giants, just get to Josh Johnson, man. Bucks legend. Get the Josh Johnson.
Get it done, Dave. Get it done.
Right, bro. Dave, you better dial up the blitzes, my boy.
Send Thibodeau on a freaking edge rush and just take out the side of his.
Bro, in his rookie year, gonna get this man suspended.
Oh man.
Hey man. I'm just saying it's not a bad playbook. That's all I'm here to say. It's not like
for legal reasons we don't endorse Bounty Gate.
We don't know. It was the worst day of my life. I hate Bounty Gate. No. but I mean, yeah, that's the only way I see that happening. But
random quick little story.
Okay.
It was high school football. I was working one of the games. I think it was a JV game. I was working chains on the other side. We were playing Armwood. And on the team, their kicking coach is Jay Feely's dad. Okay. And it was during Bounty Gate. So I'm just talking to Jay Feely's dad about like refs and one of the guys got injured and we were just cracking jokes about they got freaking bounties on them. So that's a nice little nugget.
Shout out.
Nice little nugget.
That is a good little nugget. Bounty game, man. Also, Nathaniel Hackett got fired today. Duh. I don't know if this is the quickest a coach has ever been hired and fired, but it sure feels like it. He didn't even make it a full season.
Should have been sooner.
Nathaniel Hackett, I hope you have a bad day. You've ruined a really good roster. A really good roster.
It should have been a lot sooner.
Yeah, not great. He did fleece the Dolphins, though. Bradley Chubb sucks over there in Miami. They did fleece them. So, Megamind. Megamind. Actually, real quick, the fleecing of the year. We haven't talked much about this. I said it when it happened, when the trade deadline happened. And I told you guys about it. And if I remember right, I'm going to have a Nico slander second. Nico was just like, yeah, man, Chase Claypool is like he's a playmaker. Like, just get Justin Fields a playmaker. Chase Claypool, I'm going to bring it up for like, to make sure I'm not like completely misconstruing, was traded for a second-round pick, right? The Bears gave a second-round pick. The Bears are the second worst team in the league. So that second-round pick is a 34th overall pick, right? Guess what? It's not a 34th overall pick because the Dolphins actually have the 33rd overall pick, and they have to give that pick up because they tried to recruit Brady. So it's essentially a first-round pick for Chase Claypool. And since he joined the Bears, I think he has 100. I need real stats. I need real numbers before I freak out. 111 yards on 12 receptions, 22 targets.
And how many touchdowns? Games? That was his first game, right? That he
5 games.
5.
Essentially a first-round pick. The fleecing of a lifetime for this TikTok star, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, that's it. I mentioned trade. I had to get it off my chest. The Bears gonna bear. They did the trade. And I was like, bro, why not just draft a guy in the second round? My brain was literally like, just draft a wide receiver in the second round. If he sucks, he's probably as good as Chase Claypool.
Yeah. And then you can go trade for Claypool some other time. Like,
pick him up as a free agent.
I would love to say that Claypool's like a solid 3 or 4 receiver.
I mean, maybe a 3 or 4, but like 3 or 4 receivers aren't good. They're not good. Yeah,
like they're good to fill out depth.
I think they're good because they're fast. Like there's a reason that like most receivers can't get 100 or like 70 yards in a game. You know why? Because they're either not fast enough or they can't run a route.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that there's 3 guys on a roster that can run better routes than you? On the Bears? On the Bears? They have the worst wide receiver room I've ever seen. I'm not even exaggerating. Name 2 wide receivers on the Bears right now. Not name Darnell Mooney, who's on the IR, or Chase Claypool. Name 2.
I'm cooked. I'm cooked. Bears are ass.
Oh my God. They have the worst of the 2 St. Browns and Dante Pettis.
I'm cooked.
Oh my God. Who leads the team in yards right now for the Bears? It is Darnell Mooney at 493, and then Cole Kmet, a tight end. And then David Montgomery, their running back, who plays like 40% of running back snaps because they also have Khalil Herbert. Crazy. I'm slandering right now. We need to get out of here.
Merry Christmas.
We need to get there. Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you had a good holiday, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Happy New Year to you all. Make sure you stay safe, drive responsibly, drink responsibly, all that good stuff. If you are scared of fireworks, stay at home, close the blinds, all that good stuff. Be wary of your neighbors. Be nice. Be a good person, okay? 2023 is going to be great.
If you don't want to hear the fireworks, go ahead and listen to the rest of our episodes. Maybe go check out a YouTube video too, Spectators Media. Go listen to our videos on IG, Twitter, look at our posts, whatever you want to do. Take your mind off stuff. At Spectators Media right there.
That plug was
Merry
crazy.
Christmas, Happy New Year. We love you, and
peace.
peace.
Mwah.